So timestamps exist in case you want to just skip forward to a certain moment in time, but just to get through this part, this should take no longer than 30 seconds, a minute, but yeah, I did one scout and I got Tokai Teio, so that's what we're doing for today. If Future Jordan calls this the season finale for early Prog, because I am technically just grinding inspirations as well, but it's the focus this time rather than just trying to get URA champion, because the 2 Tokai Teios I did both hit champion quite easily in my opinion, but I guess we'll see. I should have done a thing. We're gonna see what this gives me. I don't think I actually want that though. In fact, I think I may have used the guest both times, but here we are. I'd rather do this, and I think that'll be fine. So as you can see, just a little quick look through these. One of them is indirectly has a guest, but usually I like doing full inspiration circle loops as opposed to just 4-girl loops. And yeah, this is, I think I just end up using the gold ship one. Although I could try to remove McQueen. That doesn't sit right with me. And then yeah, I could borrow a full twin turbo. We're gonna stick with Super Creek. This is more consistent with me. And we'll see what happens. So, as we get into this Tokai Teio run, yeah, the first 2 runs were something, so hopefully, for funny reasons, yeah, this run could just go absolutely south, and that would be pretty funny. Now, would it make good content? I'm not sure, but we'll see. So, not really much to say starting out. I'm just going to be following bonds. Preferably, I'd like to see Super Creek. I guess I'm going to hope for karaoke. Don't give me the walk. Okay, well, didn't want that either, but we'll take it. And then I'll let the events build up my mood. You don't have to do it this way. Again, there's RNG involved anyway, but if nothing else during this run, I should have mentioned this earlier, at the start of the video, but if you're still listening, I'm going to explain basically at least what I think is happening, but I feel pretty confident about saying, and strats to go over. I'll tell you when I feel like I'm being lucky and when I'm not as lucky. So, very obvious examples is when I do a training that has a 5% failure rate, and I fail it. Or other examples include getting acupuncture turn 1 or 2, which didn't happen, but it can happen, because I think it was the first Tokai Teio run, I had acupuncture turn 2, and I took the charm, which boosts the friendship increase for your support cards. Not the director, nor Etsuko, the reporter. So yeah. Max energy also very early in a run. If you don't understand why it's very valuable, because you don't want max. I mean, getting more max energy always helps out, but earlier in the run is better. That way you have more energy to work with effectively. Also, things like extra training. Every girl has a version of this event. Extra training, I like taking that early too, because your energy per point is better than later on when you're spending energy in friendship trainings and therefore getting more stats. That's kind of a really quick tip to take away, if nothing else, this video. That being said, I don't remember Teio's events, so yeah, that was not what I wanted. I wanted stats, because we're probably not going to take that skill, but otherwise. As for the junior make debut, I'm just going to try to make sure all my stats are above 100, preferably above 120, with my more preferred stats being a lot higher, but if you follow bonds and can't get it, you might want to just swerve for a turn or 2. I wouldn't advise it, but when you need to pass the junior make debut, you lose more turns. I want to do graffiti removal, because that's speed and power. Yeah, when you lose or you don't win the junior make debut, it turns out you lose more turns because you have to do a race, then you might have to recover energy from that, and that's already 2 turns that you could have spent with good bond trainings, or maybe even a friendship training very early on, if you have better resources. And by that I mean you have an uncapped SSR that grants you a lot of initial friendship value, although that's not likely to happen. You'd have to get somewhat lucky for your preferred training to land in the same training every single time. And if nothing else, there was other things I wanted to correct and talk about too, but we'll just continue on. So yeah, I'm focusing Super Creek here. Tazuna would be nice. Preferably I'd want Special Week, Tazuna, and Super Creek in the same training, but that would require a lot of luck. Even just that base, so if you didn't know, well, we can't do it here because the race is here, but in general, there's an 18% chance for a support card to land on a training, and then there's a 10% chance for them to not appear at all. So what happens is, 18 times 5 is 90%, plus the 10% for not being anywhere is 100%, so that's how that's rationed. And then that plays into specialty priority. Specialty priority, if you want to really simplify it, specialty is the rate increase directly. It's a much more sophisticated calculation, or a complex calculation, but for the most part, that's what it is. And Kitasan Black, if you max limit break that to level 50, has a 32.4% chance of appearing at speed training. So, and I assume the other rates are taken away. That's a correction I wanted to at least say out loud here. But as we continue on to Super Creek Tazuna, the negative here is that if I continue on Super Creek, I don't have as much speed training, which is what I want right now. But I'm hoping my inspirations carry me for the first, pretty much, junior year. And then when we get our inspirations, we'll be a lot better, because then we'd have bonds with Special Week. Otherwise, I mean, I don't mind doing this either. I could swerve off Super Creek, sorry, but I'll prioritize Tazuna here. Also because there are 3 bonds, so it is a noticeable difference if you're hitting 3 bond trainings most of the time as opposed to 2 bond trainings. Again, if you need to focus on a specific support card, do so, or do what works for you. Again, specifically, I know that's really generic, so we'll try to be a bit more specific. Super Creek didn't. Oh, never mind. I wouldn't want to do that. I'd rather rest. That being said, yeah, no, I don't need to do that. I'll mention that later on, probably in the classic year or the second year. But as we start the Special Week event chain, my energy was full, but fine. Let's see, Super Creek is in Guts. I do need to increase this, and I said I was going to focus Super Creek. Oh, it was 1 bond training, but we'll do our best. I guess while I was good, I think I cut myself off somewhere. Oh my goodness, fine, we'll do power. So yeah, later on, when you're doing inspiration grinding, and if you're specifically looking to get race sparks, which are the white sparks, I'm pretty sure, we're taking speed here. The middle one I usually take for skill points. I didn't take it that time. And let's check to see if we have anything. More power would be nice. Oh, fine. I said I want to do Super Creek. We do need the power as well, but so basically you're trying to race and win G1 races. G1 races are where it's at. If for no other reason, then you also get those flag materials that you need to increase potential and whatnot. But for the most part, you're trying to win G1 races. Good for your fans. Good for gathering mats, but that's mid game. Late game, you probably don't need to grind as many mats. Question mark. But because the flip side of that is you already have the resources to grind those races reliably. So you're getting fans. You're trying to look for a race spark to help with extra stat increases. And that's what. There's something else to talk about too. And obviously, if you're doing collectionist stuff like epithets, because my second Tokai Teio had this is power, I believe. Power or guts, yeah, stamina and guts, either one, and then we get hot topic no matter what. Director and reporter bond increase, but we are just any help will help. Any increase will help. Oh, Super Creek, fine, we'll go guts. I still am a believer that your guts doesn't need to be shouldn't be that low, and I'm not even saying put anything you have into guts once you hit your stat caps, even though that's somewhat hard for higher end trainers. But yeah, we'll move on. Yeah, no Tazuna, but we'll take Special Week. Super Creek. It's a coincidence that they rhyme. Yeah, but you're trying to win G1 races. A bit late. Which one? Is it the second one, or is it the third one? Probably the third one that I want to risk. Well, no, we'll take the fourth one. You only lose mood, is it? Question mark? Either way, we got it successfully. So now we get extra friendship points from that. This succeeds more than at least the first one, and I don't want to lose stats right now, so... And the bonds are just as important. I wouldn't deny that one's the charm one is the best one to pick because of how valuable it is to get bond training. But again, you could get acupuncture way later in the run, in which you probably already have friendship training. But again, it depends on where I'm pointing at the screen as if you can see me. You are at in training. 8%, by the way. Okay, good. You can kind of already tell based on the voice line that the Musume uses, so I immediately react and do, yeah, I succeeded, or no, I failed, which you don't want. But yeah, my second Tokai Teio has the Monarch epithet, which I didn't even know was there. And that's all I have to say. I think I could have... No, it's starting this year that I have to look for G1 races. Yeah, I could have raced just off to the side, but I want to increase my stats. No! Otherwise, I mean, I do like taking either firm conditions or wet conditions, but we're not under firm conditions, so we'll just race and see. And as it turns out, hey, having a 3-star Musume, it turns out you usually do a lot better, and with, you know, okay support cards and okay inspirations, but yeah, we'll continue onward. Oh my goodness, my sparks. Outpost efficiency. I probably will end up taking that as well if there's nothing else. So I'm of the thought that, actually, let me take a quick look here. I want to get at least, yeah, so Super Creek is max bond, Special Week is reaching there, but we'll do this because it's wits. Oh my goodness, I cut myself off again. I forgot what I was going to say. I do need extra fans though, so what we're gonna do, this is energy actually, and mood, so never mind. But let's look, I think it's the second turn I would want to, yeah. I mean, I could just try to get a bit extra here. We don't need that much. Unless we get like 4th or below, we should be okay. So let's make use of this friendship training and then race. That's a lot of points for me, by the way. That's above average, so I wanted to take that. But as for whether or not we'll place first in this race is a completely different story. Fight for it. That's power and stamina? Question mark? I know it's power. I only remember some events. Hey, if nothing else to take away from this video, learning your events is also important. Oh my goodness. And you are going to be doing these trainings over and over and over again. Just, do I want to say that? No, I don't want to say that, so never mind. So, we did place first, which gets me, and you know, extra fans, as opposed to just an opening class race. So 5,000 to 8,000 fans was the boost I had from fan bonus. But as we move on here, so after post races, I don't like normally gambling. If the bottom choice is a gamble in terms of how much energy you lose, your energy could decrease by a lot less, or it could decrease by a lot more. Depends on how you like gambling. Now, obviously, at a certain point, you would probably want to start gambling a few times, but I just want to... I'm keeping my consistency low risk, to mention anything else. Oh my goodness. Everything is slowing down. Please! And I think that's pretty much it for the after-race events. There's not real... There might be a few changes here and there, but for the most part... And obviously, it's different depending on the type of race that you go into, the class of race, and where you place. But for the most part, the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest variable, based on what I know, is the fluctuating energy loss from the bottom choice. The top choice, you always lose a set amount of energy, but again, you lose that set amount. Not really anything. I guess I'll take this. Firm conditions. Actually, I should just check what the race is gonna. If it's not firm, I won't take it. If it is firm, we will take it because I want that extra power boost. And some people don't like green skills as much. I say if you don't have anything else to get, like really, if you don't have any rare skills you know you're gonna get, just save your skill points, obviously. But compared to normal rarity skills, I would take a green skill just for that guaranteed extra boost, because those are guaranteed to proc if the conditions are met. But that's the RNG. You don't know what kind of races you'll be in, especially for team trials. So, but at that same notion, if you don't have the wits stat-wise, then you might as well just, in my opinion, take a green stat, especially if it helps you out on a stat that you need or want. But yeah, that's just me. And then again, as always, if you run into any Musume I'm raising, just assume that they're built for rainy conditions, whether that's the field or the weather. And so although I didn't, again, I wait for the timestamps, although I didn't take a guess, I will clock this run for at least content's sake. I don't have a lot of clocks, but we have some clocks to work with, and I feel that's good enough. That being said, I didn't want to hit something on accident. Do we have a G1 race that I can actually reliably go into? Probably not yet. Yeah, Takarazuka Kinen is probably the nearest one. There's a long one here somewhere as well, I'm pretty sure, but I would preferably want Arc Maestro, or Swinging Maestro. And I guess we'll see. If that's the case, I'm just going to take the stamina here. If for no else, the director. A really quick comment. So I think, is it called Best Foot Forward, the event? I've seen that you need max bond with the director to see that event. Now, I don't know if the odds increase or decrease or are guaranteed, but I saw or read that you need max bond. I was at green, I was at 50% and saw that event, so that apparently isn't true, but again, I don't have the recording to show. That was during my second Tokai Teio. Actually, I can show you that second Tokai Teio, but I can't show that. Obviously can't prove that my bond was not at max at that point. But we have beeline burst, that's what I'm trying to say. So, firm conditions again. So we'll have the power. The question is, do we have the speed? 300 speed, I think, can still lose you this, among other variables that exist, but we'll see what happens. And then paste and minus, oh yeah, wits. That is a problem as well. So I think, in my opinion, wits is a big factor as well, especially if it's too low, but another solution could have just been stamina. Or swinging maestro. Both of those would have helped out immensely as well. Oh my goodness, OBS. So, oh my goodness, timestamp silence. But let's, yeah, personally, I would like to increase. Yeah, my wits my wit stat is a bit low, and on top of that, also we're about to do Takarazuka Kinen, but we can do the wits training here. Guts is also lower than I'd like it to be, so we might actually lose this G1 race, but we're gonna go for it anyway. I think this is looking to be my worst Tokai Teio run yet. But we'll find out. So this right before the summer training is going to cut into my energy economy, but we're just trying to also grab some race sparks. But that didn't happen because we placed 12th. I wonder what happened in this race. It's fine. I'm sure skills were not the issue. I promise you, I've gone into this exact race with no skills and been just fine. That being said, I did have 50 more guts and 50 more wits at that time. I distinctly remember this because I was trying to make sure I had about 250 wits and 250 guts at this time, but them's the breaks. So, oh, I don't want to do that. I think we're probably going to go wits or guts, but probably wits here. Now, what's really unfortunate is if I don't get friendship training a lot here, I would be a little surprised. A lot of Meijiro McQueen and no one else. So, I guess double wits. Yeah, this is looking to be a bad Tokai Teio run. Oh my goodness, this time Super Creek and no one else. I guess I'll take it. We need to take something. We have more than enough stamina to survive, especially if we get swinging Maestro, but again, for those who don't know, you want your stat, if you're trying to look for 3-star inspirations, you really, 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 really want your stats to be at bare minimum 600. Which isn't even overkill for URA finals, but that's kind of your starting point. And then preferably for me right now, just if you want to know what I'm doing and you're seeing what I'm doing, I'm trying to get at least 2 to 3 stats to 600. Now, if it doesn't look likely, I'll try to just push 2 stats to 600. One of them almost always being speed, but yeah, I think you get what I'm getting at this point. I don't think there's anyone more GA1 races now, so we'll skip everything else and focus on stats because we are definitely missing stats. I think one of the only ways I'll not take a G1 training is if I have a training turn in which I can get 50 plus stats. Preferably a 40 or 45 plus in the main stat with the off stat being increased as well. OBS is slowing down. I really hope that doesn't mean something bad. But as I sit here... Guts? Is that Guts? Oh my goodness. That being said, in my first Tokai Teio run, I was using resources to help myself out, so I knew which ones to take. And usually for events, I take a stat in which I'm not going to be training in as kind of a supplement. In my opinion, if you're not hitting the 1100, 1200 stat cap, I say 1100 because some sources report 1100 to increase your 3-star inspiration rate. Some say you need to hit 1200. I think it's 1100 though. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you get what I'm trying to say. Unless you're hitting those, you might as well make your run more consistent hitting your IA finals, if you are in that part of your progress through Uma Musume. If you're not, then do whatever you feel is correct. Oh my sweet goodness. I do not know what exactly I want to do. I think we'll just take Guts here. Might as well take... This is kind of late into the run, but we'll just take it so that another turn where we have friendship training, or later on I don't have to worry about Guts anymore, is what I'm trying to say. Now, whether or not I'll do all the G1 races I usually did, I did with the other two Tokai Teio runs I did, we'll see. But otherwise, hey, that's the nature of Musume. Yeah, we'll do power training here. I'm pretty sure my stat count was a lot higher by this time, but it's not impossible, it's just I don't have anything. I think I also had a rare skill at this time as well, and yeah, Swinging Maestro would have certainly helped for this race. 3,000 meters, we have some stamina, it's not enough. I think I would have really liked a, preferably Swinging Maestro, but any rare recovery skill. Thankfully we won. How much? 2.5 links? Close, 2 links, but unless it's like 5 links or more, you really don't know what's gonna happen. And sometimes the other racers could just also be unlucky. Maybe a front runner got boxed in. Maybe a late or end closer girl just did not pull forward fast enough. But I mean, seeing things like distance or 5 lengths or more is usually a good sign. If you're getting close, then yeah, I just take it as an indicator to up to training. Now, 30% here is... the stat increase was very, very attractive, but unfortunately I'm not willing to do that. Also, I'm going to do this in the background because I feel everything is... Oh no, a black screen! Oh, spooky stuff! No, that was just accidentally me minimizing the window. I don't take Iron Will. I tried out Iron Will, it did not work for me. I'm sure it can work if you are constantly fulfilling the requirements, but it just... trust me, I've tried. It is hearsay, so again, if it works for you, it works for you. For me, it doesn't as much. Also, I think there was a G1 race I could have participated in. Otherwise, we're going to try Arima Kinen. I think there's another one after this at some point. Otherwise, Arima Kinen, we'll try it out. I'm pretty sure I missed one, though, because I was autopiloting, but for the moment, we'll do Wits. My guts is kind of where I want it to be. Preferably, I'd like it at 300, but that's not going to happen from here until the senior year and away. And then, yeah, for extra training, now I take the energy because each point of energy means more to me. We've been somewhat, well, all things considered, we should have been lucky, but I made choices that were not as great. Oh my goodness. And then we get cooldown for long races. Now, whether I actually want to take that? Because that's only for a long race. Never mind. Nope, that's Iron Will. Yeah, only for long races. I could make this a long racing Tokai Teio, but I already have a medium one set up, so... yeah. We should have enough stamina for this. It's just going to be a matter of whether or not... Usually it's a strength speed issue from what I see for my Tokai Teio races, but we'll see. Another way to say it is you'd be surprised how much more strength you need when you're not running Front Brother, and when you're running just Pace Chaser strat, but thankfully we won. Another off-tangent note that it does have to do with Musume is, for some reason, a lot of clubs like to ask for dirt shoes. I don't have dirt shoes, but as... oh my goodness, but I guess it's fine, because I am occasionally doing Haru Urara runs, or El Condorpasa, or Oguri Cap runs anyway, so... And that being said, even with Oguri Cap and El Condorpasa, I'm not doing a lot of dirt races, so really it's just Haru Urara runs, but... gotta do what you can do. Out of curiosity, I think there's another... Basically from here, between every goal, there's usually a G1 race. So yeah, this one, Osaka High, is next. And we'll do our best to win, but if we don't... sadness. I'm going to start taking speed here. Our stamina is high enough, and if we increase power later on, we'll hit 600 stamina. And if you didn't see my third day special week legend races, you'll see that, and yeah, also raffle time at early January. We got tissues. No! That makes me sad. I'm just going to rely on events to up my mood, and hopefully that happens at some point. If it doesn't, I'm going to be very sad. But yeah, my Day 3 Special Week Legend Race has a Tokai Teio that has 700 plus stamina. I would actually like more, but at that point, that's luxury. Because I'm focused on getting other stats high up as well. Are we going to be able to upgrade unique skill here, Tokai Teio's Sky High Teio step? Yes, the answer is yes for now. But as for what else happens, we'll see. So keep an eye on the director's bond there, because we are also looking for the event. I'm probably just going to take Beeline Burst again, but we'll see. That does remove energy, but I don't need more energy at the moment. I could, but no. Here's finally the Swinging Maestro event chain, as my chair complains beneath me. And unfortunately, we don't get much else. So, I mean, if everyone's here, we might as well do the Guts training. You don't often see a turn like this, so you might as well take it. And we'll assume that every one of those is 20%. Again, you're not very likely to see those turns. Oh my goodness, it happened again. Well, it's not full. It's not 5, but I'm just gonna rest to play it safe here. No! Okay, good. Sleep deprived. It was at least just 30 and no negative effects. I think it's Osaka High here. So let's find out what happens. You know, if this is the run where I don't do URA champ, but then I get a good inspiration, that would be content. But that's also just proof of the RNG nature of training. So, yeah, higher mood would have helped out, I'm pretty sure. Well, we did win a few. I usually like to win a few G1 races just to hope that I get a lot more inspirations. I don't know what the exact odds are of getting a race inspiration, but the general rule of, hey, you gotta win the race to even get it is what applies to my brain. So, as we take our speed and stamina here, I think I was also trying to look at how much guts I got, but I'll take any, 30 speed, 30 stamina pretty much, and then just a few wits, but it's fine. And FanFest. Do we get the upgrade again? I don't feel like it. I think you need 100... Is it 120,000 fans? Am I going crazy? I thought it was like less than that sometimes. And it depends on the girl as well, but let's see what happens. Oh goodness, OBS. But anywho. Speed? Nope, we get stamina again. So, I think this turn we're just gonna rest. Also, keeping in mind, yeah, so FanFest, Valentine's Day, when these events happen, you're gonna get a mood increase anyway. So that's why I decided not to take the recreation turns. Oh my god, I should really grab a skill, but I know once I get 2 rare skills back to back, I will need that 600 skill points. Actually more. It's a little bit more, but you get the point. Could take Simply Rudolph as well. Inside URA finals and in PvP, you're going to see a lot of pace chasers. Now, unfortunately, I didn't win there, but funny enough, I would have liked to clock. Funny enough, there are moments in which I wish I could have clocked to get first, but that's not what the game gives you. So if you mess up a G1 race, you got to do another run, and on no whole other run, no clocks. So at that point, though, I would actually rather have no clocks available in those moments because, well, otherwise, people with resources or whales are just going to clock those non-necessary races, and it does give them an objective advantage. Basically, if you can... Wait, can you grind clocks? I don't think... You can only get carrots, right? For real-life money? Anywho. You get what I mean. If you have the clock economy, anyone who has more clocks is at an advantage because you can just clock races that are not mandatory and force yourself to get first. So, even though I complained about it, if that were actually changed, I would kind of tilt my head. Also, I think we're missing a G1 race here, but we'll do our best. Also, I need to look into, saying this for no one else, if for no one else than myself, but there is kind of a... If you haven't noticed, events, at least lore-wise, change based on the races you win or lose. So if you win a few goal races, then in a future race you'll get different, at least narration for what happens there. And I think even the name shows you as well. The name of the event kind of links to each other as well. But I don't know if that actually changes anything gameplay-wise. I wouldn't be surprised if it gave you even just a minor to somewhat major of a boost, but something to note, if for no other reason than cool lore. Or just cool gameplay design, in my opinion. Again, I am interested in game design overall, so that already gets props. Yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say. I knew you could do it. I could try to spend less energy here, but let's not lose 30 energy instead, or 25 energy, one of the two. I might just go power here if I don't get anything. Yeah, I'm just gonna go power. I could go wits, but I'm gonna go power. Preferably 500 power by the time URA finals starts, but we'll see. Oh my goodness gracious. We're just gonna do wits here. No one available. Should actually have taken stamina, but as I said, for myself at least, if I'm not gonna get 1100 to 1200 of a stat, I just don't bother. So we'll take the speed, but then we'll take, I think we just start focusing power here. I know it's not. That's why we're putting you in the wits training. Push button quiz. Ba-ding! There are other things I wanted to talk about, but I keep forgetting. I should just take notes. I always say this in any video, really. We'll take the guts here, funny enough. But yeah, I usually have notes beside me just to at least remember to talk about things, because there are things I wanted to correct myself for here and there as well, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Please don't get me sleep deprived. I think I'm only going to be resting like 3 more times in this run. So, yeah. That being said, well, Tazna's there, so the energy cost decrease will be much appreciated. As for anything else that happens, though, I just realized, did we do all of Tazna's events? If we did, I'm going to be a bit sad. I must have autopiloted directly past that, because we did not get concentration. Do I even have focus? I do have focus. Fine. Yeah, fine. Take it, I guess. We're not going to take Iron Will. We could take Iron Will. You could get jammed as a pace chaser, right? Unless I'm just completely wrong about that, but that's just a speculative statement. Otherwise, if we can't take power, we take wits. Maybe get our wits to 600 instead. I would still like power to be minimum 450 by the time URA final starts, but we'll see. We are hitting it close here. Also, did I just skip a G1 race? No, there should be one right around here, right? Around October? November? Watch out, Teio! Guts! But let's see here. G1 race, yeah, so Tenno Sho. Tenno Sho? Autumn. We'll go into this and see what happens. And funny enough, I mean, it's not that great of an achievement, but funny enough, both Tokai Teios before this one were also legend with 320,000 fans. But, I mean, as this shows... Swinging Maestro, help. I should have just taken at least focus. It wasn't going to be the changing factor, but anything helps. Also, I realized I don't have a lot of green skills as well, so... I guess we'll find out. Oh, and then migraine blues as well. Oh, just an actual migraine. Sometimes you don't get migraine. In this case, though, pain. So we will try to take care of that. Yeah, this is the worst of the 3 Teio runs I've done. Well, makes for good content, if nothing else. And it makes for good clock use. So... Oh yeah, we do have firm condition. You know what? Let's just take outer posts, because even if we get... Swinging Maestro, we will have skill points left over. In fact, I should probably take another one. For Stuck in the Pack, I'll take Prepare to Pass. Again, most of these are like 1 to 1.5 seconds long, but any little boost, right? Any little boost. Especially if it allows... I don't know if skills are directly involved in being able to pass opponents, but if that's the case, that 1.5 seconds can mean a lot. I don't assume it does, though, so... And for all I know, like this happening in front of my face, I could have just gotten stuck behind someone. Although we did lose by a nose, so it wasn't that bad unless I saw what happened in the race. But we'll make do with what we've got. So as for URA finals, as we come up on our last goal at Arima Kinen, did we win that one? I guess I can find out. Also, I have this on log for some reason, so... Let's actually see... we can't see. So, power, please? Yeah, probably power. I'm hoping that another event increases our mood. If it doesn't, that's also going to play a bigger factor in us losing races. But holiday season should grant us a mood increase, especially with that upgrade. Nope, I lied to myself. I never got Swinging Maestro, so this is going to be a very, very iffy Arima Kinen. We will clock, if for no other reason than for content, but would be nice. 600 stamina here, we should definitely win. Now, is it going to be enough for URA finals? We'll see. should be, all things considered. If you're also, because again, I've mentioned it before, but it still applies now. It's certainly true that the URA scenario does give you essentially a stamina buff. So the usual number you'll see thrown around, and I'll say it too, is you get about 400 plus stamina ghosted on top of whatever stamina you have. But that does not include, I don't think that factors into account your stamina compared to other rivals, but it makes you, you can survive the races that happen. Now that being said, we'll look for a good power turn. No, I'm just going to do it now. Keep in mind I'm losing about at least 2 to 4 stats every turn, which can make a difference, so yeah, we'll do our best. Oh my goodness, we're not going to get Swinging Maestro, are we? I guess we'll just take Teio's base perks. Tactical Tweak will help too. Whether or not we get Tail Held High, I don't think I've ever seen that proc for myself because it needs to be mid-race, question mark? So yeah, we are in medium. I would certainly not like to be in the long one, not with the long race URA finale series, because that I would have heavily preferred to have Swinging Maestro. So yeah, usually qualifiers I don't have to worry as much about. The semifinals we can lose. And after that, yeah, and we didn't win a lot of G1 races, so we're definitely not going to break 320,000 fans, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, my power doesn't look like it's going to hit 600, so 6% is going to go for it. Now, will I go for it next turn? I think I might just do Recreation just to try and win. Oh, he didn't give me Swinging Maestro. I think we were on the I distinctly recall mentioning Super Creek's event chain happening, and it never completed, so... And I wouldn't deny that doing more trainings with Super Creek would increase the odds there. If that's not true, then I would be surprised, but otherwise... The bottom line here is that not having Swinging Maestro here is going to hurt me. Not having high power either is also going to hurt me, but you know what? We'll watch the last race. At least for the first time. After that, until our last clock, we will skip to the final spurt, and then during our last clock, we watch the whole race. That's kind of my soft rule for at least this early Prog series. Oh my sweet goodness. Okay, fine, we do recreation. And away we go. I'm just going to take skills. So we're not going to get Swinging Maestro, so we might as well just take anything else. Fine, I'll take Tail Held High, but then Thunderbolt Step. I think these are mostly Teio skills at this point, except for the ones that are late surgery and long. But take what we can get. Better than nothing. And we have more than enough stamina for the URA finals. It's just we don't... I'm a bit scared for our power. And then RNG could just say, well, get stuck in this because you started in bracket 6 and then everyone surrounded you. But let's find out. Another contributing factor is, yeah, we have a lot of late and pace chasers, and then 3 front runners, but it's not so bad. Triangles all across the board, it's certainly possible to win. Just see my Haru Urara episode 1 early Prog video, which Future Jordan may put on the... I'm pointing as if you can see the corner of the screen, right here. I don't know what Future Jordan's going to name it, but as OBS continues to load here, I have nothing else to talk about at the moment, so hey, shrug! But yeah, this is certainly my worst Tokai Teio run. I won certainly a lot more, and I'll show this at the end too, for no one else than myself, just so I can take records, which I really should be doing more often, but I don't. I do kind of just wing it a lot of the time, when I really should stop and think. But I do that, I stop and think and, you know, look up resources here and there, just to, while I'm doing training off recording, because, well, as it turns out, being efficient per energy point or 30 points of TP that you use for career training, turns out it helps quite a lot. My finger. But as we get both of our green skills going, and then we get focus as well, I think there's another skill-based proc skill, or skill procking based skill, that can happen at the very beginning. But, as you saw, Tail Held High did not proc there. If maybe it was a wits problem, but it's mid-race, so it would only happen in the middle of the race. We also seem to be behind the pace chasers at this point of time, but if we're on the outside, I worry less. Again, I'm just analyzing based on what I observe, but it's because what I observe and analyze or take away from that seems to be somewhat correct. Unless I've just been right every time, just on luck. And by this I mean being on the outside lane turns out to be a lot better for not getting stuck. That doesn't mean you'll pass, of course, but I think just it should be quite obvious that you're being surrounded. Hey, you might need more power in that instant. Again, you never know. If you make it your way to the outside lanes, in my opinion, it looks a lot better for your power and stamina management. I don't remember all the interactions between stats though, so I guess we'll find out. That being said, being in 9th, 8th, and now we're stuck on the inside lanes makes me a bit scared, but we'll see what happens as we enter the final spurt, because anyone could take this race here, like literally anyone. At this point though, as you be right before 200 meters before the final spurt, you'll see people speed up and speed down. That's when you can kind of tell who looks better or worse. But yeah, as we're stuck here, it doesn't look like we're gonna make it out. Also, the fact that our power is like around 500 or less doesn't help out either, but hey, we're changing lanes. We seem to be doing a thing. We did not proc Teio step, so woof. Note there that Grass Wonder was pretty much last, but I think Grass Wonder does run late or end closer strat. So we're gonna use our one free clock. And technically we have 3 clocks, right? I think the free one is actually just free. It doesn't count towards your max per training, so yeah. And if nothing else, just noting the beginning of this race so that I can track the green skills and focus. I think focus always procs, and then yeah, the green skills always proc if the conditions are met, so don't need to rely on wits there. That being said though, would still be nice to proc other skills. Not that I could have taken much else anyway. So, this looks a lot better. It would take a tragic accident for us to proc unique skill and still lose. But hey, we'll find out as Grass Wonder pulls up on us and we don't get to proc anything. So, Grass Wonder wins! Oh, man. Sadness. Yeah, we're gonna clock. Because I think these stats are going to help me break... Oh, no, it actually won't. But still, getting champ... Yeah, so 490 power is not good. You should have a lot more power here. At least 550 if you're running Tokai Teio, in my opinion. But that's like bare minimum. And I say that because I've also been in the exact same stat... This is pretty much the exact same stat range, except a little less than the other Tokai Teios. That's why I'm telling you right now that this is the bare minimum for your Tokai Teios. But preferably you would want, yeah, again, as I mentioned for gold chip, I swear it's not because I'm matching it with my gold chip, 700 speed, 700 stamina, 600 power, 350 guts, 400 wits, bare minimum to have a good chance of winning URA finals, in my opinion. But Tokai Teio deciding can't do much else. No! That being said, we have had a different winner every time, and this time we placed a lot worse, but we'll try one more time. Was that actually... So that free use does count as one of the 3 tries. Good to know. But yeah, my luck was going to run out at some time. I think one of the turning points was because I think actually in the first 2 Tokai Teio trainings I did, I actually didn't focus on Super Creek as much. Obviously not getting Swinging Maestro hurts me a lot, because if I had passed those other races, I would not be in the same situation. Other things like my mood not being at max for more of the run hurt as well, because that's an extra 20-30 stats I didn't have minimum. And as it turns out, we didn't proc the other green skill, so nice to know that that's also wits related. Now, are we gonna pop Teio step? Sky High Teio step? That would help immensely, and if we still lose, then I guess it was just destined to be. But as the last clock here, I don't really mind. This does mean that for my next runs... Oh yeah, this is not looking good. Oh boy. Yeah. Grass Wondered, but also my power pain. Well, we took second. I'm not happy about it, because, well, it would be great to take first, but watch this actually give me a 3-star stamina inspiration. I would just go lie down during recording right now. But as we get nothing else, we'll see what happens. We record for a reason, and if nothing else, this video exists for data reasons. If you want to, or if you want to play along with me and see how someone else is training their Musume among the many other trainers who are also making videos or streaming. So, Not really much to use our skill points on. I don't think there's really anything I would want even. But you know what? For giggles, we'll take home stretch haste. And off we go. So, what is the result for today? I mean, aside from just being at B rank, but... Nope, nothing. I mean, yeah, oh, look at these 3-star hints. Kikuka Sho. Stamina, but... You'd have to take the you'd have to take the skill and then you get the stamina or the stat increase, I believe, question mark? And yeah, that's definitely the word. By a whole 1,500 rating wise anyway, but still though, I'm telling you right now, my power, I mean, I'll show you right after this as a bonus, so could have hit 1,000,000 in 3 tries. No, anywho. One of these Tokai Teios is in my team, so hey, but otherwise, yeah, as we close out this video, I'll show you the other 2 Tokai Teios really quickly. Not really much else to do afterward. I did glue factory some girls in between this and my last early prog video, but not really much changed afterwards. So, as long as we're not doing any, weird favorite lists, then... This is my first Tokai Teio, the GOAT! What is that even for? I mean, this tells you even more. Kuritaryu, win rate of 85% or higher, 7 G1 wins, and at least 320,000 fans. So this was a really good run, whether I was just lucky or not, or having, you know, a medium S aptitude helps out immensely as well. Actually, quite more than you might think. It's not definitely a minor change, in my opinion at least, but... yeah, just showing you the races here. This is aside from this 3rd place and Yayoi Sho, and I think this was an optional race too. So really could have done a lot better. But then yeah, we have 1-star guts, 2-star pace chaser, which isn't bad if I want to try inherit that, because then we have a bunch of other race sparks here. But Gold Chip will always be my guest character. So if you're trying to inherit any other girl that I'm raising, well, no. Here's my second Tokai Teio. No S medium aptitude, and as you see, a little bit worse. We get long inspiration if I want to try that, but probably not, unless it's a girl. Again, it's one of the 4 that I'm usually doing the inspiration loop on at the moment, which I'm probably not going to be using clock, so that's going to make it a lot harder for me, RNG-wise, but yeah, as you can see here, we lost our G1s. We lost 2 G1 races. And we got the Monarch one here, but not much else to that one. So really my first Tokai Teio was probably the better one, as the rating itself shows number-wise. And here's my last one. The one that we just saw in this video hurts a lot. But, yeah, without further ado, not really much else to talk about. If you want to support me, if you want to say anything, if you want to say, hey, Jordan, you should do this, or try this, I'll at least think about it. I usually take advice because I've gotten things, as I'm looking up things, I'm getting things wrong, or I'm correcting myself, or I'm refining my own knowledge on Musume. So yeah, without further ado, I guess I'll see you later, and thanks for watching. Bye!